Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Speaking of bringing up the past, Anita Hill. Of course, Joe Biden announced he's running for president. And look, he's been highly criticized because of those confirmation hearings in 1991. He calls Anita Hill before, of course, his announcement dropped offering his apology. She told the New York Times, though, first of all, this is what he said. The focus of the apology, to me, is one thing, but there needs to be an apology to the other witnesses, and there needs to be an apology to the American public, because we now know how deeply disappointed Americans around the country were about what they saw. And not just women. There are women and men now who have just really lost confidence in our government to respond to the problem of gender violence. Joe Biden was on The View today, and he was asked for a stronger apology by Joy Behar.
You know, I think what she wants you to say is, I'm sorry for the way I treated you, not for the way you were treated. I think that would be closer.
Well, but I'm sorry the way she got treated. In terms of, I never heard say, if you go back and look what I said and didn't say, I don't think I treated her badly. I took on her opposition, what I couldn't figure out how to do, and we still haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
How do you stop people from asking inflammatory questions? How do you stop these character assassinations outside? There was a full-blown attack on her in order to try to get the defense, quote unquote, for Clarence Thomas. And no woman or any victim of harassment should ever be put through that circumstance in public hearing.
Yeah.
And so, look, if you notice, we're all still looking for, how do you change the process of having the hearing?
Teresa, you're a communications expert. What the hell would you have told him to say?
Well, I'm a little biased, and I'll tell you why. Because Biden had his first fundraiser here in Philadelphia.
So?
Okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
Did you go?
I was there.
Okay, so what you're a communications specialist. What would you have, how would you have told him to answer a very easy-ass question?
I would reiterate to the public that he did apologize, but also reaffirm to the public that, yes, the process was... No, you don't use the word process. Well, so let's be clear. So the way the Senate, the way hearings are conducted, there is a process. So I do agree with Vice President Biden as it relates to, then Senator, as it relates to that communication from each senator asking her or literally bullying Anita Hill with those questions. So I do believe there should have been some sort of processes in place, and yes, I'm going to still use that word, that could have died down some of that. But also, I do know Biden was, kind of at fault. But again, he did apologize.
No, Amisha.
This is a woman who was victimized, and I think that we have to return to that. As someone who has also been a victim of sexual abuse, I think that when you're talking to someone who is now years outside of that, but went through hell and high water during that process, you have to reach out to them, and you have to not only express sympathy, but you also have to express that you have moved beyond where you were before. And I'm a Biden supporter, but I was very shocked by the way that he addressed that question this morning, but also in the conversation with Anita Hill. She is still healing from a lot of that. And I think that today we look at that situation very differently. I was a toddler in 91, but watching all of those videos and seeing everything that she went through, there isn't a piece of me that does not hurt for her. And I think that for him to not be able to find it within himself to give a natural apology to a woman where, yes, he pounded very hard with a lot of those questions. There was no bit of empathy in that man whatsoever during those hearings. And I think that he does owe her that.
Jason.
Well, look, I'm not a Biden supporter, but either way, what we saw, and I was not a toddler, I was a little bit older than that at that time, and I remember, I believe it was Arlen Specter who asked, don't you think, isn't it true that black women are jealous of white women who date black men, and that's what this is all about. There were things that there was no question he should have banged the gavel on and said that this is completely terrible, completely not what we're here for, and he failed to do that. He needed to take responsibility. He was in a leadership position, and I know that right now, we have the type of leadership where people don't take responsibility. That's what the last, segment was about. But he should have taken responsibility quickly right there and said, I apologize to Anita Hill for my actions. I apologize to the other victims who didn't get a chance to testify. There are many things that he should have done to show leadership and to show that he takes responsibility.
All right, so Teresa, I'm going to show you how Joe Biden should have done this. Press play.
I think what she wants you to say is, I'm sorry for the way I treated you, not for the way you were treated. I think that might be closer.
Well, but
This is what Joe Biden should have said. Joy, you're absolutely right. I should have been a tougher chairman. I should have been far more aggressive in shutting down some of the insane, offensive, and despicable questions that she was asked. There were witnesses who were in D.C., who were waiting to testify, who should have been allowed to say their story. Everybody, yes, Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas, deserve to have their perspective. But you're absolutely right. It was too chaotic. It was too much back and forth. It was a panel of all men, all white men, and I should have done a much better job as the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee during those hearings. So to Anita Hill and to anyone else, I absolutely unequivocally apologize for that hearing. Done. Next question. That's it.
You want to be my communications specialist?
That's it.
I'll hire you.
Teresa, if you go there, you're not this, and again, if we play the video, if you see it, sort of this eye roll, I'm searching, well, I didn't ask her, somebody else did. Look, it's one of those things, you take the hit and you move on.
Right.
You take the hit.
So, Roland, I like your statement, but there's two things in play here. One, he did apologize. He made the call in private, and he also apologized before he even said he was going to announce the campaign because they already knew what was happening.
That means nothing. That means nothing because now you're on The View in an exclusive. And so, and then you say, I made a phone call to her. I apologized to her directly, personally, and I also apologize to the nation. You have to end it. What you don't do is give an answer that this is what that answer looked like. It looked like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, where he's sort of like, I don't quite know. No, take the hit and move on. It was the same thing that Hillary Clinton could not do. When she had her book tour, when she said, Bill and I, we left the White House, we were in poverty, we were broke. Oh, you weren't. And she could not, and she kept saying it, and she would say it a different way. Look, I can tell you exactly what happened. I called one of her closest aides who's black. I was like, yo, can one of y'all tell her to shut the hell up? And the person said, Roland, are you willing to sit down with Hillary Clinton and tell her? I said, hell yeah, I would tell her. The same thing with the emails. It was I was here, because here's the deal. If you don't answer it, clear, locked, he's going to get asked again and asked again. He's going to have a tight answer on the 1994 crime bill.
Yes, and
final comment on this. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes and then no, because so the committee that was in place are the same committee members he is now reaching out to get monetary support. So again, if he starts putting fault on some of those Senate,
no, you missed me. I didn't say you fought the committee. You fought your leadership. You were the chairman. You just take it on. You say, as the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, I should have been stronger in shutting it down. You take it on. All I'm saying is this here. You got to end it. Because otherwise, because what happened? What happened? He called to Teresa. He apologized. What did she say? Let me read it again. This is my point. She proves my point. He called her to apologize. Quote, the focus on apology to me is one thing. Pull it up, guys. But there needs to be an apology to the other witnesses, and there needs to be an apology to the American public, because we now know how deeply disappointed Americans around the country were about what they saw. And not just women. There are women and men now who have just really lost confidence in our government to respond to the problems of gender violence. The quote was in today's New York Times before he even went on The View.
She basically gave him the playbook of how to do this.
I'm like, but I'm just saying that, look, sometimes you got to take the hit.
And I think, you know what, he may actually
Final comment, next story.
I think he may take the hit just at a later date. The View was not the platform that he decided.
Well, guess what? You wasted the moment sitting with 5 women and not taking the hit. That's all I'm saying. For Roland Martin Unfiltered, be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.